A'udzu billah A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. Are you fine? How are you today? Good evening. And I hope you are fine wherever you are. And I hope that you are still blessed in this pandemic era. Our greeting to our great lecturer, to our beloved lecturer. She is Ma'am Nadiah, M.Pd, the lecturer of English teaching methodology in this semester. And the second greeting to our beloved friends, all of students of PBI 3C, English Teaching Department, Class 3C. May Allah bless you all together. Okay, our group is gonna talk about TPR. And what happened with TPR? Yeah, in this presentation, we will talk about how to teach vocabulary to young learner by using TPR. But before that, I would like to introduce our member. Our group is consists by 3 persons. First is I, myself. Second, Ahmad Mudhofar. And the third, Ahmad Fathoni. Okay, let's go to the first part. TPR. What is TPR? TPR is called as total physical response. A language teaching method built around the coordination of speech and action. TPR is the method of learning that use for action more action and less of theory, and a method of teaching a language using physical movement to react to verbal input. And TPR was designed by Dr. James J. Asher, who is a professor of Materi Psychology at San Jose University. Dr. Asher observed that the dropout rate of second language students in a traditional program is often as high as 95%. Okay, this is the brief explanation about TPR. TPR is the method that use physical movement more than theory, and approach the theory of language and learning. The first, grammar based. Second, skillful use imperative, grammatical structured vocabulary. The more intensively and the more often the stretch and stronger memory association will be. Grammar based. Yeah, grammar is very important in learning method. Because why? Because grammar is talking much to understand the language. And second, skillful use imperative. As we have talked in the first part that TPR is use physical movement more than theory, and skillful is very imperative to show and to understand grammar. For example, we learn grammar in simple present tense, materi, for example, and in TPR we use it by making a sentence and practice it. And the third, the more intensively and the more often the trait, the stronger memory a session will be. The meaning is, the more we practice it, the more we will understand about the material we learn. And this is the part about the theory of language and learning. Okay, next, 3 learning process. Bio program for language learning. Second, brain literation defines different learning function. And the third, stress interference between learning. Okay, the bio program, we call it as natural method, sees first and second language learning as parallel process. The meaning is, the first learning and second learning has a connection between first and second has connection. And second point, 3 central process. Children develop listening competency. Children's ability in listening comprehension. Children able to speak naturally and effortlessly. The process of bio program is order children to develop their listening competence, and second, the children will improve their listening skill, more comprehension. And the third, the goal of learning is children able to speak fluently, naturally by their self. Okay, next, brain literalization. This is a main mapping about brain literation. The first, TPR. Second, the right brain learning. Learner and down acquires language through motor movement. And next, right hemiprise activities must occur before the left hemiprise can process language for production. The first is TPR. The meaning is we have to understand first about the meaning of TPR. What is method of learning in TPR, and what is the advantage and disadvantage in TPR learning method, and how to apply it in learning process. And second, the right brain learning. And as we know together that TPR is the method that order learner to use a physical movement, and right brain is the main or the part of brain that control the physical movement. And next, learner can apply it, or learner can use physical movement well, and down acquires language through motor movement. And after that, learner will more understand about the material by using TPR learning. Okay?
Principles. Number 1. Understanding of TL before ability to speak. Number 2. Meaning of TL words conveyed through action. Number 3. Spoken language preferred over written language. Number 4. Understanding should evolve through the movement of student's body. Number 4. No forcing to speak. Next, objectives. To teach oral proficiency at a beginning level, and the ultimate aim is to teach basic speaking skills. Next, to produce learners who are capable of free communication, which is understandable to a native speaker. Next, all goals are attainable through the use of action-based drill in the imperative form. Syllabus. Sentence-based lexical criterion is primary. Initial attention to meaning rather than to the form. Next, classroom activity. Number 1, fixed number of items, usually no more than 30. Predominantly imperative drills. Role-playing can also be used. Conversational dialogues begin after at least 100 hours of interaction. Next, roles of learner, listener, and performer. Recognize and respond to novel combination of previously taught items. Produce novel combinations. Encourage to speak not until they feel ready. Roles of teacher, active and direct role. Select supporting materials and model the lesson. Allow speaking abilities to develop in natural pace, parent-like feedback. Thank you.
Method. Lesson in TPR or total physical response are organized around grammar and in particular around the verb. Instructors issue comments based on the verb and vocabulary that learned in that lesson. However, the primary focus on this lesson is on the meaning. That's why TPR is different from grammar translation method. Grammar is not explicitly taught, but grammar is learned by induction. Students are expected to subconsciously acquire the grammatical structure of the language through exposure to the spoken language input. In addition to decoding the message in the input to find their meaning. This approach to listening is called code breaking. Materials of TPR. Total physical response lesson typically use a wide variety of aurelia, posture, and props. Teaching materials are not compulsory, and for the very first lessons, they may not be used. As students progress in ability, the teacher may begin to use objects found in the classroom, such as furniture or books, and later may use word charts, pictures, and aurelia. There are a number of specialized TPR teaching products available, including student kits that developed by James G. Asher. Learning process. Firstly, the teacher give a summary of the last meeting. Teacher repeat the verb or items that learned in the previous meeting. Then teacher giving a new comment to the students. Students should respond new comment with action. Then student commending a teacher and the classmates. After that, students write new verbs or items on the blackboard. Now, we will talk about advantages and disadvantages of TPR. Now, we will talk about advantages first. The first advantages is TPR is fun and easy. Second, TPR is inclusive. Third, TPR is good tool for building vocabulary for long term. Fourth, TPR does not require a long preparation. And the last is TPR is effective for both young and adult learner. Disadvantages of TPR. TPR become a challenge for shy students. Second, in TPR there are no opportunity to talk in a creative manner. Third, TPR can become repetitive and boring. Fourth, preparation becomes an issue at higher levels. In conclusion, TPR was designed by James G. Asher, who is a professor at San Jose State University. Total physical response enjoyed some popularity in 1970 and in 1980. crescent regards of provision of comprehensible input and reduction of stress as keys to successful language acquisition. And he sees performing physical action in the target language as means of making input comprehensible and minimizing stress. Asher stressed that total physical response, or TPR, should be used in association with other methods and techniques. I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.